Hi. I didn't want to make a new video about Serpentza for a while. I just wanted to focus on my own stuff, and to be honest, it just became really boring. But I've kind of, he's left me no choice because he's made a video. He's published it in the last 12 hours about YouTubers in China being paid by state media and being paid by shell companies and all this kind of stuff, and he's got no real evidence. He's just got these emails that he kind of like pieces of paper he holds up on the screen, and there's no real way of knowing if what he's saying is correct or not. But what I do know is that he's having a go at this British guy called Lee Barrett, and this guy, I haven't met him personally, but I'm in contact with people who are in contact with him, and people I trust, people I consider to be trustworthy people, and they have told me that he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. But more importantly, they've told me that he's going through a health crisis at the moment. He's got a very serious disease. Specifically, he's dealing with cancer. And at this very moment that Winston or Serpentza has published this video, this guy is actually in the hospital. Whether he's just had his operation or whether he's preparing to have his operation, he's preparing to have a very serious operation, and so I think it's really, I think it's really callous, really disgusting, and really callous of Winston to get into it like that, and to have a go at him when he's in such a vulnerable situation as he's in. And it just made me think, I can't get my Bible out to show people my Bible, because I'm actually using it to lift up my computer. The Bible can just solve every problem, but I usually just listen to the Bible on my app. I don't use the print version, so I found a good use for it. But if you read the Bible, you sort of understand no one's perfect, and Winston is certainly himself not perfect. And I just remembered that story that he told about working for the rapist. That guy is a serious guy. He's a very famous guy, that rapist guy. And Winston worked very, very closely with him. There's numerous photos of him with the rapist. And it really beggars belief that Winston had no idea about this guy and what he was up to. It's not believable. So, Winston's got a few skeletons in his closet. That's for sure. And what has Lee Barrett done? Winston's accusing him of promoting a video game, of promoting some medicine. Now look, during a pandemic, there are people who say you shouldn't promote anything at all. You shouldn't promote any advertising, or you shouldn't sell anything. Well, look, business never stops. And people are always trying to make money. When you live in China, there's often these opportunities to make a little bit of extra money. Winston knows that, and he's been a part of it. So for him now to pretend like he's this paragon of virtue and this paragon of integrity, how can he explain some of the things that he's done? He can't. And look, it's like a lot of these social justice warriors and a lot of these guys on the extreme side of politics. What we would probably categorize Winston as a strange and unusual mix of the extreme left and the extreme right. He's one or the other, as is when it suits him. But what he isn't is reasonable and sensible and decent. And it's a mark of these extremists that they have no decency. And at a time when this gentleman Lee Barrett, an old China veteran like Winston, is more or less struggling with a very serious disease that, like, I don't want to say it, but it could, who knows, it's a monster. It could end up getting the better of him, I don't think anyone knows what the future is, and for him to have a go at him at this point when he's in hospital waiting on an operation or just had an operation, it's pretty full on. Like I thought Serpentza was I always thought there was some little kernel of decency, and he was just doing it for the money, or he was doing it for the views or something like that. But now I just don't know. I just don't believe that there is any decency left in him, because he purposefully, and I remember YGZ Taiwan, he made a video as well where he sort of said he was doing a live stream, and that's before he blocked me, and he was saying, I said, I hope Lee Barrett gets better, and his attitude was just like, I don't care, like this. I mean, look, this is the problem today with these extremists. It doesn't matter what somebody does. They are still a human being. Look, you can't abrogate your humanity. And I might be someone who is of the view that if men, kill innocent people, if they kill women, if they kill children, if they kill innocent people, I don't want them around anymore. I'm happy to build a one of those hangsman places. I forget what they're called, but I'm happy to hang them. I'm happy to shoot them. I'm happy to throw them off a cliff. But I'd like to remember that word. But you can't just lose your humanity, and that's what these guys do. Like your YGZs and your Serpentzas. I mean, your Serpenzas, your Winstons. Lee Barrett has made a video where he went to a small community and promoted their agriculture, and now he's a evil shill. He went to show that Xinjiang was actually a beautiful place where there's good things happening, and now he's just an evil shill. He went on a news program where he sort of said, stop blaming China for COVID-19, and now he's an evil shill. He's not a human being anymore. Doesn't matter if he lives or dies. These guys like Serpentza and YGZ Taiwan, they're really disgusting, but you know what they're not? They're not nothing. They're not human beings because they do these things. But seriously, Serpentza, like, you're a pretty piss poor excuse for a human being at this point. Like, you could have just waited until Barrett was out of hospital. He's a father. He's an Englishman. He's someone who's been in China for a long time. He knows a lot of the same shit that you know. Even though he might not be able to speak Chinese as well as you, he's been around and he's seen a lot of stuff. And for you to hit him now when he's down, especially with your track record, hanging out with the rapist and whatever. I mean, you can try to explain that away, but you've yourself published all these photos of yourself with him. So, yeah. Anyway, look, it's terrible stuff, and I just hope that Winston doesn't make any more videos about Lee Barrett ever, because he doesn't have a right to, and especially not when he's ill. So, yeah, that's just a warning, I guess, to some of these other extremist guys like YGZ and Prime in China, just to leave Barrett alone. Just leave him alone. Let him recover in peace. And if you're watching this, Barrett, I'm praying for you, bro, and you're gonna get better. And I tell you something very funny that might lift your spirits. I remember I very briefly had a girlfriend, a speech pathologist, actually, a speech pathology student, and she was from Persia, actually. And I met her on a tram in Melbourne, and it It wasn't a very serious relationship. I held her hand and maybe, put my arm around her a few times, but we were together for a few months, and she was a lovely girl. And her supervisor invited her to have dinner at her home, and her husband was a surgeon. And he said something very funny that I'll never forget. He said, you really want to have any disease now, right now, because medicine is always better today than it was yesterday, and it will be better tomorrow. So it's 2021, Barrett. You've got all of medical science on your side, fighting for you. I know that you're getting excellent care, and remembering what that surgeon said, there's never been a better time to have a medical condition. So get well soon, mate, and enjoy the ride. I know you're vlogging it, and we're all thinking of you. Take care. Bye-bye.